to the video on the decline of ancient Greece. Today we're going to talk about and discuss the reasons for the fall and decline of ancient Greece. Today's objectives we will be able to outline the jealousies between the Greek polis, we will evaluate the Persian War, and we will analyze why the Delian League developed and how it caused the Peloponnesian War, and then we will outline the invasion of the Macedonians and the rise of the empire of Alexander the Great. To start, we are going to show how the polis had such large competition. The main three of these city-states were Athens, Sparta, and Thebes. A great demonstration of the basics of the competition of these city-states were the Olympics. The Olympics were always held in a time of peace and were held every 4 years, which was known as a time period of an Olympiad. These competitions of the Olympics were used to display the dominance of each of the city-states, and they were to display the ultimate warriors of each city-state. The competition was based off the competition of each god, for each city-state had a parent god that they prayed to. The start of the competition truly arrives with the beginning of the Persian War. Darius the Great, the leader of Persia at the time, attacked Athens, who Darius saw as being a major threat and wanted to eliminate. Athens turned around and ended up defeating Darius the Great and won the first battle of the Persian War. But Athens was still scared that there would be another attack, so Athens greatly built up their navy. When Darius finally died, and Xerxes, his son, takes over the Peloponnesian Empire, he decides to avenge his father's death. Xerxes attacks Greece, and the Battle of Thermopylae, one of the most famous battles, takes place. At Thermopylae, Sparta holds off Xerxes' largest army for 3 whole days on land. The entire time that Sparta is holding off the army on land, Athens, with their large navy, comes around from behind and destroys Xerxes' army from behind and wins the battle. Xerxes was so distraught and destroyed by this 3-day battle that the entire Persian army was done and defeated. Both Athens and Sparta would claim to be the hero of this war. But both Athens and Sparta knew that Xerxes would come back, and they decided to form an alliance known as the Delian League. Athens decides to be the head of the Delian League, having the most power and strength on the navy and some of the highest wealth in all of Greece. But the power went to Athens' head, and they placed heavy taxes on the polis and the city-states inside the league. This angered many, many people, especially Sparta. Athens used their strength and their money to crush the rebellions from their allies. But Sparta and the Corinthians decided to break off from the Delian League and created the Peloponnesian League. And so begins the Peloponnesian War. The beginning of the Peloponnesian War starts in 431 BCE. Sparta, with its extreme fighting force and perfect soldiers, won all the land battles. But Athens, with their supreme navy, won all the sea battles. Athens was forced in and closes their city limits when Sparta surrounds the entire city. But Sparta, unable to get inside the city, and the Athens were unable to get out. Athens would use their port to bring in food and supplies to the city, which would allow them to survive for a very long time. Sparta still destroys all the surrounding lands, and all of Athens' allies in the surrounding lands. In 429 BCE, there is a typhus epidemic inside Athens that ends up destroying Athens altogether. At the end of the war, in 423 BCE, Athens decides to negotiate a treaty with Sparta because they are so damaged from the spread of the disease. Athens will, even during the treaty talks, Athens will still continue to fight a dirty war. In other words, they would still attack many different places of Sparta's people viciously and destroy the entire towns. In 415, Athens attacks Syracuse, but Syracuse ends up being able to defend and destroys the entire Athenian army, which becomes a huge devastation to the Athenians. Athens decides to go off the warpath and rebuild itself because it is so devastated by the Battle of Syracuse. Sparta is now weakened as well, and so both Sparta and Athens, the two largest city-states, are extremely destroyed by so much fighting and bickering between themselves and trying to defend off the Persians. The final actions of the city-states was the Corinthian War, which started in 395 BCE and extended until 387. Sparta was losing the entire time until Persia decides to step in and help out on the side of Sparta. Because of all the great help of the Persian Empire, Sparta wins, and Greece is left in ruins with all this incessant warfare. Now, Macedonia has always been a barbaric state throughout this entire time. Macedonia lies just north of Greece, of what we know today as ancient Greece. Philip II finds enough money and wealth and takes up control over all of Macedonia. While he's in control, he expands the land and power under Macedonia and discovers massive gold mines, which helps to improve the wealth and the army size of Macedonia. Macedonia will then grow their technology and their military substantially. All of this is an attempt to defend their northern borders. Now, in the final fall of Greece, Athens starts fearing the Macedonian power with the rise of their new technology and military. Athens decides, because of this, that Macedonia is such a danger that they will plan a preemptive strike. Philip and Alexander the Great win the Battle of Sharona in 338 BC. This battle ends up destroying the Athenian army, and Philip assumes command of Greece. Then Philip decides to set up the League of Corinth and assassinated Alexander to take over. Now, to review. Now, these questions you must come into class with. So, what was the name of the Athenian ships? What was the name of the time period between the Olympics? Who was the head of the Delian League? In the Peloponnesian War, who won the land battles and who won the sea battles? Thank you, and I'll see you in class tomorrow.